Hello, my friends. We are in the midst of the first of the gentle spring rains. So not that biting cold of the winter, and they're not windblown. It's like this feeling of like a hush or a shh. The kind of rain where if you didn't see it, you didn't know it would be happening. I didn't even realize it was raining until I took the dogs out. They knew right away. They didn't want to get off the back steps because they didn't want to get wet. Well, they didn't have much choice in the matter, did they? Although Arnie has decided he'll wait until later to complete his business. But it's just one of those gentle rains that's like the sky's like opening up and just gently kissing the ground. Very spring-like. It's not warm rain yet, but it was great to go out and just put my face up to it for a minute. It was just wonderful. Wonderful. There's signs of spring popping up all over the place. Some things probably caught in my tiny moments for the day. Earlier today we had a break between lots of clouds and passing showers where it was sunny, and we went out for that part of the day, and then we came back and we sat on the front porch for the rest of the afternoon. I was going through those magazines I told you about yesterday, looking for things to add to my recipe collection. Probably no main meals because they're either very exotic or they have expensive ingredients, but lots of really good ideas for vegetable main meals. They're calling them side dishes, but I would consider them main meals. And some interesting salad combinations. So it's been a relaxing day. And I really didn't have a lot to share with you today. I wish I could share how mellow I'm feeling right now. I know I have some friends that could use some mellow at the moment. I don't always have it, but I've got oodles of it right now. I do have some pictures to share with you. Several of you have emailed me telling me you enjoyed it when I was sharing my recipes and what I was making for dinner. And I just hadn't been thinking about that, to tell you the truth. First thing is I wasn't in the kitchen as much as I should have been because we're going out to dinner too much. So I'm settling back down to the kitchen again because that's got to stop. Just need to make sure we're getting healthier food. And so today I made a chicken salad recipe that it's new to me, and it looked like it would be tasty. We had it for lunch today, and oh boy, was it ever tasty. So here's a picture of almost all the ingredients. The spices that are used for it are not here. And what you are looking at is, I doubled the recipe that will be on my blog website, which I'll link to you below. That recipe called for 3 to 3.5 cups of shredded cooked chicken breast. And what I do is, when our grocery, either the BJ's or the grocery stores we go to, has a sale on vegetarian-fed chicken with no hormones and no antibiotics, it's particularly nice if it's free range. We don't always get those, but it's even better when that happens. So when there's a sale on that rotisserie chicken, I will buy that to make chicken salad out of it because it's just so easy. You don't have to use the oven or waste the utilities to bake chicken. And you get a nice tasty chicken, and it makes a good chicken salad. And the recipe calls for, this is the undoubled version, so what you see in front of you here is doubled. 3.5 cups of shredded cooked chicken. It said chicken breast, but I just used the whole rotisserie chicken. I don't care if it's dark or white meat. A cup of celery. A sweet bell pepper, it said any color. So we had some red and some yellow, and I think I opted for the yellow here, if I remember correctly. A quarter of a sweet chopped onion. I have a cup of mayonnaise, and a tablespoon of dry ranch seasoning. So 2 things I wanted to mention. You might have seen in the picture of the ingredients that there was commercial mayonnaise. That's because somebody forgot to get eggs last time I went grocery shopping. It's so quick and easy to make mayonnaise. When we were following the paleo diet, which is still the best nutritional program for both of us as far as our health, I learned how quick and easy it was to make mayonnaise, so I stopped buying commercial mayonnaise. Thank goodness I still had some in the cupboard because I think it was in the refrigerator, come to think of it, because I forgot to get eggs. And you don't make mayonnaise without egg. And then the ranch seasoning. I found a recipe for the combination of spices to use for a ranch seasoning recipe, which was considered to be Whole 30. Paleo and Whole 30 recipes are particularly good for Roger and I. So this would be, if you think of the package of ranch seasoning you can buy that you then add, I guess you add it to either sour cream or mayonnaise. Kind you can buy the commercial. Well, this is basically the equivalent of that, and it really makes a very spicy, tasty, I should say, mix. And what I do is I make some of it and just keep it so that I have it to use whenever I want to use it's good on chicken. There's all kinds of, it's even good to add to soups. There's all kinds of things it's good for. And the recipe for that is, it'll be, the amounts will be on my blog on the website. It's salt, parsley, dried dill, dried chives, garlic powder, onion flakes, and some black pepper. And that's where this chicken salad actually gets a lot of its taste, is added to that. And it will be added to taste, or even if you don't want to make some of this to keep in a jar, you can just put a little bit of each of those into the chicken salad, and you end up with a really good chicken salad. And we usually just take a dollop of the chicken salad, like a ice cream scoop size, and we plop it on top of some lettuce, and that's our salad for lunch for the next several days, actually, since I doubled up that recipe. And our favorite lettuce around here is romaine, and I tend to chop up 2 or 3 heads at a time and keep them in a plastic bag in the refrigerator, so it's easy to grab to make salads for lunch or for dinner. Yep, a plastic bag. It's the only thing I still use plastic bags for, because I like the air being kept completely out. Do rewash and use plastic bags over and over again, so at least there's that. Man, I used to go through plastic bags like they were going out of style, but if I get a box of plastic bags like the size I use for this, I'm still using that same box 3 months later at this point. We don't use Saran Wrap or Reynolds Wrap so much anymore. I do keep Reynolds Wrap for cooking and things like that. To tell you the truth, when I store things in the refrigerator, I use my glass bowls and the good old-fashioned covers that look like gold shower caps. If I can find a picture of them, I'll put them here. And at least we broke that habit, where we don't use so much in the way of plastic anymore. So that is part of my time in the kitchen this morning, was making that chicken salad. And also assembling everything for our dinner for tonight, except not cooking it until later. I'm not sharing that again with you because I've already shared it on here and on my blog. It was the ground beef French-style green bean casserole, which we're having with carrots. So that's really what I did for the day. The only thing productive I really did was make the chicken salad, which Roger pronounced yum yum, and got things ready so I can just throw everything together in the casserole dish and bake that for dinner tonight. We prefer to eat lunch middle of the afternoon and eat a rather late dinner, which it's not really late in the scheme of things because we're usually up till midnight or 1 in the morning. That was really my day, folks. Really had an enjoyable time out and about in the neighborhood. We didn't leave our community today. We stayed put. Didn't hit the road for any reason. It was just lovely because it's the 3-day weekend for a lot of people. Working people tend to have Good Friday off, and of course it's the beginning of the Easter break for most families as far as their children's schooling. So we saw a lot of people here that we haven't seen again since basically last summer, and it's starting to be energetic here on the weekends. In fact, we were talking to our neighbors a few minutes ago, the ones over here, they're doing all the construction. He's been busy all day today. They had to head out to Beach Highway because they needed something from a store out there for their project they're working on. And they said it looks like summertime. Beach Highway is bumper to bumper traffic. Yeah, usually come May, we start seeing a huge difference. In fact, we stay off of it. We don't go that direction unless we're headed to the beach. We don't go out there for restaurants or to stores or anything once that traffic starts up. And I think that's really all I had. I do have a couple of I like this one, especially since I'm wearing the same shirt, I'm pretty sure, that I wore in yesterday's video. Someone asked me how come it often seems that I wear the same shirt a couple of times, the top I think they said a couple of times, that they thought I was doing them daily. Do I actually do a bunch of them at once? The giveaway with that usually is whether my hair looks like it was just washed or it's looking a little lank like it is today. Water where we live is extremely expensive, and what it has done for us is it has encouraged us to think even more than we were thinking before about water usage. And if we have a day that we are not doing anything, a quiet day, we will wear the same top the next day. Not something that was a part of my growing up where you put totally clean clothes from the inside out on every day. But really, in the scheme of the world and now and conservation and water, yeah, you will see. Sometimes a couple days in a row, I'm wearing the same top. Like I think I wore this in yesterday's video. It's a change in lifestyle from what used to be for me to consider things like how often do you wash your bed sheets, or do you wear something twice instead of once and wash it? Other things like that are different for me to consider. Interestingly, here we sit on the edge of the ocean, and water is extremely expensive here. So yeah, you do see me sometimes, a couple of days in a row. You have the same thing on. No, I'm not doing batch videos. I really am recording them individually. The pattern is becoming that I record them and it takes so long in the high def for them to download and upload that you get them a day late now. But yep, I'm doing them every day, not doing a bunch of them ahead of time. That really wouldn't make any sense for a vlog. And the other question I had was, how do you manage to take care of your house with some of the physical challenges you have when Lady Lupus is acting up? Really, it's not that big of a problem. Now, I have to admit, before we moved, for years and years and years, when my career arrived to a certain place, I did have house cleaners. So I didn't have the burden of taking care of the house and working 60 hours a week. I wouldn't, of course, consider anything like that in our current situation with our budget as retired people. Plus, in all honesty, if I'm home, I'm going to clean my own house. Living in a small house, it's not onerous, even with the challenges I have, to keep my house the way I want to. It's very rarely that I will be off-kilter enough that things get out of control, because it doesn't take a lot to clean this house. Not a lot of space to clean, and only 2 people living in it. So those of you with children running through your house have a whole different set of considerations when it comes to housework than I do. So in general, no, it's not been a problem for me to take care of the house. Oh, it might mean that there's a day I wished I could vacuum and I can't, or the bathroom waits an extra day to be cleaned because I can't get down on my hands and knees. But in the big pictures, that doesn't matter. Very rarely do I get a flare from lupus that keeps me from doing those kind of things long enough that I get frustrated, because I do like to have a tidy house. Those are 2 questions I had, both very interesting in their own right. And always I mentioned to you that it's great fun to answer your questions. And that will be it today, except for some tiny moments. As usual, I have no recollection now of what I took. I do know I took some lovely video. Oh, a few days back I took a video of a goose couple, a Canada goose couple that were down at the marina. And they seem to have picked a spot along the edge of the bay where the grasslands start before it gets to the water. They seem to have declared that their home this year. And so we see them now every time we go down there. And they haven't nested yet, so they're still rather comfortable with your presence. I was sitting on a bench within 6 feet of them when I took the video. They were totally unconcerned about my presence there. Oh, that'll change as soon as they have eggs that they're sitting on. And then anybody with a brain between their ears knows when they are laying, don't go near them. So we'll get to know the two of them well. And I hope that they stay and we get to see the babes and everything. We don't usually get like a pile of Canada geese here in our community. They prefer to be inland where the water is available as fresh water. So they're not big fans of sharing our community with us. But this may be the same couple that was here last year, because there was only one couple that was here last year. Maybe they come back to the same spot. They do tend to do that. So probably lots of pictures of them over time. It'd be wonderful if I get to see their babies. Last year, we didn't get to see the babies, whether the eggs just didn't safely hatch or whatever. Maybe they didn't even lay their eggs here. They may have left and gone someplace else when they came down to where actually they wanted to lay. The challenge of being a Canada goose here is this time of year the place is not so busy, and you scope out all these great places to settle your family in and lay your eggs, and then the tourists start showing up, and there's noise, and there's cars, and there's kids playing, and you find out your choice wasn't necessarily the best. You kind of like, oh crap, this isn't the neighborhood we wanted to raise our kids in. So I guess these two are going to be in the videos for a while, but it was really a gorgeous day. Remember last night when I said I was hoping that wasn't somebody coming to visit? It wasn't. They were going next door. Today I just was in the mood to chit-chat and talk to friends and be outside, and it's just been lovely and peaceful. Very good day. That will be it for now. On to the tiny moments.